1200 milliwatts, 2.7K, 60 frames per second, and I think we're doing all right. Let's record this one, okay? There we go. We got our, this is the test. We got our SD card problem solved. We got our power issue solved. Because these like to be 12 volts and like 2.5 amps or something like that. So we fixed our BECs and the power inside, and now everything's working good. 2.7K, 60 frames per second lets us put the EIS system on to help with the vibrations. But we also shimmed the hub carriers, we balanced the wheels, everything to get rid of vibration. All right, so let's go for a little ride. Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Where are we? We missed a turn. I think we missed a turn. It's right here. Durr. All right, we're still doing good with these. The antennas aren't breaking up. We're doing the ground drone thing. We're doing pretty good. So we're doing just as good as DJI. All right, a little bit of dropout right there, but we do have a giant church in the way. So we are cooking with Crisco pretty good here. Just don't like the glare from the sun, man. It's obnoxious. Okay. Woo. Let's go to church. Some schmutz. Let's go over here. We usually have pretty good luck going over here. All right. Oh, a little bit of droppy here. Oh, droppy. Uh-oh, curbage. We've got curbage. Walk of shame. But yeah, it dropped out. Big time. We had to go do the walk of shame. I think the battery cable became detached inside where the battery is. Let's put that theory to the test, because I don't hear the camera working. That's what I think is happening. There are no signs of it overheating. Huh. It's a weird. You be quiet. All right, so I'm gonna take this battery out of the Mojave. We didn't get any battery warnings, which is really weird. The battery is not hot, no more than usual. Let's see. The ESC isn't hot. Okay, we know what that sound is. We can fix that. Huh. What we have here is an issue. What is the issue? All right. So the motor did not overheat. Huh. Well, that's just really wacky. Right? We need that plugged in because that's the big old fan. Got power. Well, that was a failure. So sometimes you come up with an idea and it doesn't work. Like today. I think I cooked the voltage regulator. That's what I think happened. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. We're gonna go home and take it apart and see. It was fun while it worked. It worked very well. But that's why we lost signal when we went behind the building. Huh. Maybe we didn't leave enough space for air to pass around the VTX in there. That's what I'm thinking. Because those things, they run really hot, especially at 1200 milliwatts. So we're gonna go home and check it out. Okay, so a lot of YouTube channels, they'll go out there and make stuff and edit it all to make them look cool, and they never show you any failures. But I gotta tell you, man, people fail, and it's part of it. They are fancy toys, you know, whatever. But we're gonna figure out what happened with mine, okay? So I think that I cooked the fan inside the camera case that I have my Moonlight camera inside. So this is how it is. And before I had that, when I opened it up and got closer, I can smell that smell and the fan wasn't spinning anymore. But first we're gonna check the batteries, okay? We're gonna see about those. Okay, the other failure we had was a few days ago, we switched both of these cars over to 4S because I got tired of repairing stuff. On 6S, you break a lot of stuff. So I went down to 4S to make it lighter, and it's more kV, but it's a lighter and smaller battery. So I've had success running the Typhon on 4S, but I put a proper 4S motor in there and a proper gearing, and now it's funner than hell to drive. And I don't have to stick a giant 6S battery in there. So now the Mojave is 4S. There's a 4S motor inside there underneath that fan and heat sink. Unfortunately, we didn't get to run it tonight because somebody forgot to rebind this, or it became unbound, so we weren't able to drive it because we didn't have a screwdriver to take the cover off and rebind it while we're out there. I'm sure it works. I'm not afraid of that. but we have to rebind that. So you might be asking yourself, well, maybe you had issues with your booster. No, because this booster is an extension of the RF section of the transmitter. It does not have its own bind. It's just a more powerful antenna. So that is not the issue. We just need to rebind the radio to the vehicle. So when you are binding, you don't need this on. You don't need the booster on when you're inside your house. You don't have to plug that in. That's just the power, okay? The signal is already run through a coax underneath, and it's wired up inside. I have a video about that. But you don't need that plugged in, because if you are within 30 feet of this transmitter, it will bind, because it has a little bit of range without any antennas connected to it. Okay, so you see right there, all right? You see right there, we are inside the Mojave model memory. And we're gonna go to the RX set. We're gonna press the bind set. It's an enhanced receiver. We're gonna start the bind there. Oh shit, we forgot to connect the battery. Let's do that. As soon as I heard the battery warning sensor going off, I knew we were bound. You see we have a solid light there. The ESC is happy. And if you look at the top, you see the RX and TX are very happy. So if we were to back out of here, right back, and we turn, let's try not to break anything. We are golden. Except we have everything in reverse. All right, let's fix that. So as you see, if we press the trigger forward, we get nothing now because we're inside the application. We're going to have to change the rotation of the motor so that we go the proper direction. I'm going to show that to you. All right, we had to power cycle the ESC. Yep. There we go. We have forward. Should be going forward. All right, we fixed that problem. All right. Yeah. That fan is toast. So fast forward this part. We're going to take this fan out of here. When we first built these with the DJI system in them, we were running them on 12 volt fans. Everything in there for the DJI setup was 12 volts. Okay? And they were happy. And then we switched over to this brand here. We tried these fans out. They don't like going any higher than 9 volts. All right, let's take the insulation off. Right there, we got insulation. All right, because this is a brushless motor, it only works in one direction. All right, you see this thing? Don't buy it. It shuts off after 3 fucking minutes. It's ridiculous. It's fucking gone. You can't undo that function. The newer ones you can turn that function off, but that pisses me off. You can't turn the beep off either. All right. So if this was a good motor, it should only work in one direction, okay? Now we don't have anything. There's one way. There's the other way. This motor is Kaputski. Okay, you can see brand new motor, brand new leads. This is the old one. So we'll just take and expose the conductors up inside there. There's the other one. We got that. We got that. Now watch. This will only work one way. We're going to start off with positive on top. Ooh, look at that. Flip the battery over. It doesn't work because it's a brushless motor. Like a digital. Only goes one way, plus and minus. Alright? Good. This motor works. But we're not going to put it in there because we need a higher voltage motor. Now watch this. Here's the motor we just took out. No joy. No joy. So I don't make a lot of content. Alright? I am not Mr. YouTuber. I do enjoy making videos. But I'm also not going to put videos where I'm always successful, because I'm not always successful. Most hobbyists aren't successful all the time. Hell, I've crashed 2 airplanes in the last year, you know, because of reasons. Whatever. Unfortunately, I wasn't filming the second time I crashed my Aero Scout. The first one was a Carbon Cub. I put that one in. But this is a failure. This video is a failure. We were going good until I cooked the fan. So now we have to find 35 millimeter 12 volt fans. So the other day we went out running and everything was going pretty good. Whatever, all right? The fan inside this project here, trying to protect it as best as possible when running it on a 1/8 scale car, because they flip over. You don't want to go smashing the camera or anything else in here, so it's in a protective diving case. That was my best solution. To do that, you have to provide some ventilation. You need to suck in fresh air and blow out the hot air. So that's what it does. It sucks in the fresh air from the front because you're going that way, and then it blows the hot air down through the bottom. All right, not a bad design. It works. But only if you run the proper voltage to the fan. So I was thinking to myself, why not just order some 12 volt fans, because you're running the VTX on 12 volts. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. I like these rocket motors. They're very good. And then I just didn't want to order more fans. I already have plenty of these fans in different sizes because, again, they're good quality if you run them on proper voltage.